Alright guys, or shall I say ladies, as stated, I will be doing more videos about feminine fragrances. Today, this is something you guys have asked me to do for a while. So I'm ranking the ladies or feminine targeted designer fragrances in my collection today. So this is pretty much the entire list of fragrances that I have. There might be a few flankers here and there of the fragrances mentioned in this video. And there are also a few other fragrances that I don't find to be, you know, one of my most favorites, but there's 22 here, 22 feminine targeted designer fragrances ranked today for you in this video. This is like a Saturday top 20 midweek. If you want to find out what they are, then please stay tuned. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Sebastian with Smelling Great Fragrance Reviews. Yes, feminine or ladies or women targeted releases from the designers. This is what's in my collection, and I'm telling you what I think about them today in this video, which is ranked. And you know, there are certain fragrances here that I've spoken about recently and or in the past. And the designers you all know about. We've got Chanel, we've got Tom Ford, we've got Mugler, we've got Dior. And then there's our, you know, there's Gucci. There might be a few other designers that are less known. But either way, I'll let you know what they are. But before I do, if this is your first time tuning into this channel and you still haven't subscribed, please do click that subscribe button below. And also click the bell so that you'll be notified for future videos and giveaways. Before I move forward with the list, if you haven't caught my channel updates video from Monday, please go do that. There are 12 giveaway prizes. 10 of them are worldwide prizes. 10 of them are full bottles, which includes 8 worldwide and 2 USA only giveaways. And then I also have 2 of my perfume t-shirts in that video that I'm doing giveaways of. One of them is for Forever Vetiver. The other one is for this one right here. I'd rather wear perfume. If you don't want to participate in the giveaways and you want to go right and purchase these in my Teespring shop, you can get a discount currently. Use the discount code CHANNEL, CHANNEL. It'll save you 10% off of those t-shirts or many others that I have in the store. Okay, let's get started. We're going to start off at number 22. As I said, there's 22 fragrances here. First one is Toy 2 from the house of Moschino. So Moschino was a brand I used to wear in the 90s. I thought Moschino's fragrances were great in the 90s. I've wore 2 or 3 of them. Then after like the mid 2000s, I kind of like lost interest in the brand and have sort of been curious about them. I was very curious about that Windex bottle looking fragrance. Dismissed it, didn't really care for the smell. Finally, I think they're doing some good things. I mean, they're not like amazing wow fragrances, but they're quirky, campy, kind of kitschy bottles, obviously, with this one. And this one is the second toy bottle. First one was an actual teddy bear. This is Toy 2, which is number 22. And then Toy Boy. And then now they have a flanker of this as well. It's a bubblegum flanker. But this particular one is very fruity, tea-like experience for me, with lots of apple, white currant, peony, magnolia, jasmine, musk, and sandalwood. It's a very smooth wear, fruity, musky, clean, sandalwoody, woody kind of thing. And I like it. So the only thing is it's at number 22 at the bottom, but still I own it and I enjoy wearing it. So that's Moschino Toy 2. The next one is a recent video I did about these 2 fragrances, one feminine, one masculine, from the house of KENZO. This is KENZO Jungle the Elephant. So this one's a super spicy, woody concoction from the mid-90s, 96 I believe, created by Dominic Ropion. This has a huge following, really huge following. A lot of people like this one. And you know, it's chock full of spices: cloves, cardamom, heliotrope, mango, ylang-ylang, licorice, vanilla. It's an oriental vanilla, oriental spicy fragrance, I would go to the extent of calling. And it certainly wears like that. Sadly, it's at the bottom. Still kind of deciding, do I really love this one or do I just think it's okay, kind of a thing. That's why it's here at number 21. But I really love the little elephant on for the cap there, as you can see. Either way, that's KENZO Jungle the Elephant at number 21. This one might disappoint a few of you, but it's at number 20. Don't worry, I have the brand covered at the very top But here, this particular fragrance, Chanel number 5 at 20. So this one, it's a fragrance that reminds me of grandmother. That's not a bad thing, okay? It is absolutely not a bad thing because grandma always smelled great, especially when I went into her bathroom, all her toiletries and perfumes and powders and things like that. This one and another fragrance coming up from Guerlain reminds me of grandmother. And I didn't smell roses, I smelled Chanel number 5. But Aldehydes, Iris, Sandalwood, Ylang-Ylang, Jasmine, Vanilla, Neroli, Oakmoss. It's a very, very familiar smell, and it's a very familiar aldehydic smell. Aldehydes, once you smell it, it really does leave an impression. Like, you'll know it. It's like, that has aldehydes. That has aldehydes. It's an interesting smell. It does have a classic smell to it, although we do have another fragrance here from a brand that is a more modern aldehydic experience that doesn't have the classic touch, so I think the classic aldehydes definitely have a classic smell. This, on the other hand, is the Eau de Parfum version, and I think this is more current, but it's definitely inspired by the original from the early 1900s. But, you know, it's still a great scent. I don't think it's a ultra feminine, but yes, it is in the other hand. But it's at number 20 on my list today. Chanel number 5 at 20. So the next fragrance I'm going to talk to you about is from the house of GUCCE, and this is Gucci Bloom GOCCE di Fiori. This is the only one I have in this series. I don't know why I bought this one, but as soon as I smelled it, I got the tuberose, but I also got like a suntan lotion thing under there. Like a very sunny, sunshiny, smooth, buttery, sandalwoody kind of a experience under there. But along with the tuberose, I got the jasmine, and I also got some honeysuckle in here. So kind of really enjoyed the smell. And I actually like the original. I like the one with the green notes in it, the one with the galbanum. And I'm very, very curious to discover more from this collection. In fact, I probably should get the whole entire series and do a video on it. But let me know if you like this series. Let me know if you like GOCCE di Fiori. I think it's definitely great. It really does remind me of, you know, the summer, sunny, sunshine, floral, things like that. And I think the series is definitely great. I think Alberto Morillas, along with the creative director for GUCCE, have done a great thing with this particular series. So Gucci Bloom GOCCE di Fiori is number 19. Now perhaps some of the others would be a little more higher up on the list, but as for now, this is the only one I own from this collection. The next one I'm going to talk to you about is from the house of Burberry. This is Burberry Her in the EDP concentration. There are multiple flankers of this one. And this one, I featured it in my Baccarat Rouge 540 Babies video of different fragrances that remind me of Baccarat Rouge 540. And certainly it does, but then again, it's a different smell. It hints at that kind of ambroxany, kind of ambergris, musky thing that Baccarat Rouge has here. But the thing is, it's created by Francis Kurkdjian of Maison Francis Kurkdjian. He created both fragrances. But you can tell when you compare the two fragrances that the notes or the ingredients they use here are not, I mean, I can tell that they smell a little, at least the fruity notes kind of have a cheap kind of a smell. But either way, I think it's a great scent. It's a great alternative, a fruity alternative of Baccarat Rouge 540. If you don't know it, do check it out. This is at number 18, Burberry Her EDP. All right, next up, going to the house of Guerlain. And I only have a refill bottle of Shalimar, and that's at number 17. Shalimar is the other fragrance next to Chanel number 5 that has a kind of grandma smell to me. And that is not a bad thing, guys. The grandmas don't smell bad. Because, you know, grandmas were perfumed as well, along with my mom or moms. But Guerlain Shalimar, I think, is men, a lot of men claim that they wear this one. So it's vanilla tonka bergamot. So the combination seems not overly feminine leaning, although you have rose and jasmine and other floral notes come in. But basically the fragrance is all about the vanilla tonka and bergamot. I've only experienced the Eau de Toilette. I should dig deeper into the Shalimar series of fragrances, go into the Eau de Parfum and some of its flankers. But I enjoy the original, and I do have several fragrances that remind me of this particular concoction from the early 1900s. So it's a definitely has staying power kind of a scent. People still gravitate towards it and things like that. And I think the inspiration, Shalimar, the name and all that is definitely on point with this particular fragrance. So number 17 is Shalimar. The next one I'm talking about is the other one that features aldehydes in the notes, and this is a more modern perfume from the house of Tom Ford, and it's Métallique. So I really like this one. Métallique has a very vanillic, aldehydic, musky, powdery experience. So aldehydes, lots of vanilla, lots of heliotrope, and ambrette. Ambrette gives us this kind of fruitiness, booziness in there, but the heliotrope goes powdery. Vanilla also tends to go powdery. So the experience is a powdery experience, but you also have some lily of the valley here, lightly, Peru balsam, sandalwood for an ambery kind of woody experience. But you know, I like this one. It's different. It's a different kind of smell, but it's a good different kind of smell. It doesn't remind me of a lot of other things or a lot of other fragrances, you know what I mean? So in the end, you're experiencing a new kind of fragrance experience with, once you kind of dig into the notes and you kind of like, okay, pinpoint, okay, that's the aldehydes, I can familiarize myself and remember other fragrances smelling like this, the heliotrope, the vanilla, then you kind of can. But as a fragrance itself, it's very, very original and a great smell, I think. Very kind of a warm, but still sparkly, kind of a powdery fragrance wearing experience. So that's Tom Ford's Métallique. The next one I'm talking about is from the house of Gucci once again, and it's Gucci Guilty Absolute Pour Femme. This is at number 15. And here we go with a fruity patchouli rose combo that's really, really delicious. For me, this fragrance doesn't smell great out of the bottle, but on me it smells really great. And I love the blackberry here, along with the green cypress, the Bulgarian rose, patchouli, pink pepper, bergamot, and woodsy touches. What they did with this one is they evolved it into Gucci Guilty Oud. They moved some of these notes into the oud version, which I can see, but I kind of wish that they also used some of the notes from the men's version, Gucci Guilty Absolute Pour Homme. But either way, I think this is a great scent. Very, very solid release for designer, and Gucci has been doing some good things lately. Either way, Gucci Guilty Absolute Pour Femme is at number 15. The next fragrance I'm going to talk to you about is from the house of Hermes, and it's Tuile de Hermes. A really spicy, zingy sandalwood experience with lots of tuberose. So you've got the ginger, you've got the sandalwood, creamy, milky tuberose for this beautiful creamy white flower. You can totally smell the tuberose in here. I think for me this particular fragrance is mostly about sandalwood, tuberose, and ginger. Although the ginger adds that zing to it, orange blossom adds a little bit of a you know, the citrus floral touch, but you know, I think the orange flower or the orange blossom with the tuberose, they do really complement one another. You know, they kind of balance them out, which actually really works in here. Then add some bitter orange, vanilla, bergamot, and jasmine. I think you've got a winner of a fragrance. Beautiful fragrance, floral, woody, spicy style, and I like it. So that's at number 14, Hermes, Tuile de Hermes. All right, I've been speaking about this brand quite a bit with their men's version of this particular fragrance, but there is a woman's version that I also like. It's from a Spanish designer house under LVMH of Loewe, and it's 001 Woman. And speaking of sandalwood with this one, Tuile de Hermes, we've got sandalwood here as well. And this one, for me, is very unisex as an offering. In fact, I think the men's is also quite unisex, and you can share them between the two fragrances, husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend kind of a thing. I think they can totally be shared. Sandalwood, vanilla, jasmine, amber, tangerine, pink pepper, bergamot. Sandalwood is very creamy here. It's woody, milky, creamy. The vanilla is also beautifully sweet, you know, vanillic and powdery. I don't call this one to be very syrupy experience. The jasmine does come in, and you know, it does add the floral touches here, but it's not an overwhelming floral experience. Throw in some amber, the tangerine adds a sweet kind of a citrus touch to it. Pink pepper and bergamot, I think you've got a winner. Sandalwood is a great note in fragrances, and they've done a great job with this one with Loewe 001 Woman. And this is the Eau de Parfum. I only own the Eau de Parfum versions of these two fragrances, and Loewe is, as a house, I'd like to explore a lot more. If you haven't tried this one and you enjoy sandalwood, definitely check out Loewe 001 Woman for a great floral sandalwood experience with some vanillic touches. So the next fragrance I'm going to talk to you about is from the house of Cartier again, and this is Cartier Must de Cartier Parfum. Do you guys love galbanum? Now, galbanum is that green bitter note that's available in, or that's featured in Chanel number 19, but it's also the main star here. It's galbanum. It's bitter green, kind of a resinous experience, cucumbery experience, but more of a bitter cucumber. But what they've done here with the Musc de Cartier is they've combined it with vanilla, so you've got the sweet vanilla and bitter green galbanum note working beautifully together. Then throw in some jasmine as well. Those are the notes that they've credited here with this one, and this is the 2015 Parfum version. And I do get a very musky experience when I wear this fragrance. Something under there is like musk, like deer musk or a synthetic musk is acting very, very musky on me. So it does get a little bit animalic. I don't know if it's the same with the eau de parfum or the original version, but that's the deal I'm experiencing with the parfum. But either way, the combination of the galbanum with the vanilla is top notch. It's a great combination that I really, really love. And you know, I do have some unisex fragrances that features galbanum with kind of sweeter notes. So they're unisex. Here, I think this one totally can be pulled off by men as well. So that's Cartier, Musc de Cartier Parfum at number 12. The next one we're going to talk to you about is from the House of Mugler. This is Alien, focusing on jasmine. And Alien is all about jasmine with amber, woodsy notes. But you do experience some muskiness under there. You experience some other floral touches. I also pick up perhaps something like Magnolia in here. There's some light vanillic touches as well. Of course, musky. It's a great scent. Sadly, it's not in my top 10, but I have two other Mugler fragrances in my top 10. In fact, they're at the very top. But this one actually is great. I think it's a great solid release from the House of Mugler, and it seems to be very popular, and they have done multiple flankers of this one. I do own a flanker of this one. As I said, I'm not featuring flankers today, although maybe one or two might be flankers in this video. But there is a flanker that came out earlier last year that was really solid, and I'm drawing a blank with the name of that one. Either way, that's Mugler Alien. I really love it. Check it out if you don't know it. At number 10, going to the House of Tom Ford, it's Noir Femme. Now, Noir Femme is very similar to Noir from Tom Ford, Noir Extreme from Tom Ford. Very similar, although I feel like this particular version for Femme, even though it doesn't say Femme on it, it just says Noir, as you can see right there. Even though this, I think they've amped up the flowers a little more. In the end, it's a gourmand fragrance. It's vanilla, kulfi, ginger, amber, sandalwood, orange blossom, bitter orange, mastic resin, and jasmine. And kulfi is a pistachio ice cream. That's the note. So it's a gourmand experience. It's a sweet experience. It's just a very cozy experience that I like. I like the combination of the sweet notes with the kind of like the floral notes in here and the resins and things like that. Beautiful fragrance. It just smells like a dessert. If you like the smell of desserts, check out Tom Ford's Noir Femme, or you can also check out Tom Ford's Noir Extreme if you have a boyfriend perhaps or a husband that also wears that fragrance. The next fragrance I'm going to talk to you about is going back to the House of Cartier, and this is Cartier La Panthère Parfum. I reviewed this one on the channel earlier this year, and it's beautiful version of the original fragrance La Panthère, or La Panthère. And I think what they've done here is really solid. Like, they've done a great upgrade to the fragrance. In fact, I think this is the climax of this particular series of fragrances, and we've gotten something really great. Mathilde Laurent has created a great version of this fragrance. I haven't really cared for the other ones much. They're okay, but this particular version, I think it's really solid. It's a Chypre fragrance with apricots, oakmoss, gardenia, osmanthus, patchouli, and musk. Combination is great. The wearing experience is great. Smells fantastic. Classic yet modern. Fruity, bubblegummy, candy with the kind of like Chypre notes of patchouli, oak moss, and things like that. A great scent. Check it out if you don't know it. Cartier La Panthère Parfum is a solid release from this house. Next, going to the House of Dolce & Gabbana. Yes, I have one Dolce & Gabbana for women, and when I did my video yesterday of the fruit collection from Dolce & Gabbana, a lot of you ladies mentioned you liked blue, the original for women, and I love that fragrance. I think it's one of my favorite fragrances for women, and it's at number 8 here. A great scent created by Olivier Cresp, who also created some other fragrances here, I think, maybe, coming up. So this particular fragrance, light blue, is very unisex to me. I don't know if you guys experienced this. First of all, for me, it reminds me of Jardin d'Amalfi from Creed. If you haven't tested those or compared them side by side, do. Although the light blue from Dolce & Gabbana doesn't smell as luxury as the Creed, but what is luxury, and also the comparison is, for me, light blue from Dolce & Gabbana is a lot creamier in comparison to the Creed Jardin d'Amalfi is a lot sharper. So check them out if you can, but what this one's known about is for lots of citruses of lemon, the apple, the bamboo, the cedar, musk, jasmine, rose, amber. A great fresh experience. It's just a really, really happy fragrance, very happy and uplifting. Those of you that are guys, I mean, you mentioned sometimes you wear light blue from Dolce & Gabbana. Obviously, you're referring to the men's. Check this one out. Don't dismiss this. And just because it's for women, try it. Just try it. And also, compare it to the Creed, Creed Jardin d'Amalfi. They'll remind you of one another. And I think if they do, and here we have a unisex fragrance, you can totally get away with wearing this one. Just a really, really great, freshy, fruity, and citrusy and musky for summertime. So that's Light Blue by Dolce & Gabbana. Great scent. If you don't know it, do check it out. This next one's from the house of Dior. It's Dior Addict. And this one is the Vanilla Tonka Beanie kind of a fragrance. Vanilla tonka beans, sandalwood, blackberry, mandarin leaf, orange blossom, jasmine, and rose. This is really, really delicious, actually. Really, it smells great on me. The vanilla and tonkas amplify with some patchouli. I feel like there is some patchouli in there. I pretty much pick it up, but there's also, you know, some sparkliness of some strange kind of like maybe almost like aldehydic type notes. There's a fizziness about it that I quite enjoy. But it's a warm fragrance in contrast with kind of like cool or fresh notes to give you a very kind of like contrasting experience that I really, really like. I really love it. And if you like tonka beans as a note, I think this Dior Addict is definitely one you should try. As I said, it's a warm and fresh experience, or a wearing experience at the same time, and it smells fantastic. That's Dior Addict. That's created by the current perfumer of Guerlain, Thierry Wasser, in the early 2000s. But I can tell his style here, and definitely his evolution from doing something kind of vanillic and tonka beanie and moving forward onto Guerlain to do fragrances sort of similar to that. All right, the next fragrance we're going to talk to you about is back to the Cartier house again. Cartier's Le Baiser du Dragon, a great gourmand created by Alberto Morillas. And this is a gourmand, a boozy gourmand with patchouli. So kind of like, I think, distantly inspired by Angel from Mugler, but this one is known for the almonds. You got amaretto liqueur in here, bitter almonds, vetiver, patchouli, cedar, benzoin, amber, iris, musk, and gardenia. Beautiful, really, really beautiful wearing experience. I like the booziness, but you're experiencing like a boozy almond, which complements the bitter almonds together, but you have that vetiver and the patchouli coming in, the grassy earthiness, sparkly earthy woodiness, and then the benzoin adds this warmth to it with the amber. Very, very delicious fragrance. I actually have this version here in the Eau de Parfum, and I also have an Eau de Toilette, which is actually discontinued. They don't have an Eau de Toilette version of this, which I've hidden away. But a friend has told me that they used to have a Parfum version of this, which I wish I had, but sadly I do not have. Anyway, let me know who's a fan of this one. It's been one of my top of feminine fragrances for quite some time. That's Cartier Le Baiser du Dragon at number 6. This next fragrance is a classic, and it smells fantastic. This is Dior's Diorissimo. Wonderfully fresh, smells like spring to me. It does smell classic, it does smell feminine. It's all about Lily of the Valley with jasmine and Ylang-Ylang. It's a very green floral experience, but a brighter, not bitter like something like Chanel No. 19, which focuses on that galbanum note. But here, the Lily of the Valley is in center stage. You know, it's the star of the fragrance. And I absolutely love the way Lily of the Valley smell. And here they've captured it perfectly. From what I read, Lily of the Valley cannot be extracted, so they have to create, you know, different notes to kind of create this smell. So most likely the Lily of the Valley here They're crediting it as a note, but it's all different kinds of notes that creates this accord. But a wonderful fragrance, a very, very spring fragrance. If you like fresh spring florals, this is definitely one for you to try. So Dior Diorissimo in Eau de Toilette is at number 5. So my top 4 is just 2 brands. That's all that's left. 4 fragrances from 2 different brands is my top 4. And they're very solid releases here. The first one at number 4, Coco Mademoiselle from the house of Chanel. This is, I think, Chanel's answer to something like Mugler's Angel. It's very heavy on the patchouli, but with this one you have rose and lychee fruit, so it is definitely fruity. Orange is also in here as a citrus fruit, grapefruit, vanilla, incense, bergamot, musk, and vetiver. Really, really beautiful fragrance, sparkly. It's a very, very sparkly patchouli, but still earthy and kind of woody at the same time. It's a nice contrast. That earthiness, the woodiness, the sparkliness of the patchouli beautifully complements the rose, lychee, the fruits, and the vanilla, and the jasmine, and things like that. I think it's a solid, solid release. And I've given this one to my mom as well. She really loves these kind of fragrances. So that's at number 4. It's Chanel Coco Mademoiselle. So this next one is another Chanel fragrance at number 3. This is number 19. And here I have multiple versions of this. And I also have multiple versions of this. But I'm only featuring the Eau de Parfum here for this particular video. This is the Eau de Parfum as well of this. And I did recently do a video on Chanel number 19. If you're curious to learn about it, go catch that video. The star of this fragrance is Galbanum. It's bitter green experience. As I was saying earlier, this is a green floral experience, but very floral and fresh. This is more of a deeper, richer, more resinous kind of a bitter experience from that Galbanum note. Lots of Galbanum here, green notes, oak moss, iris, vetiver, leather, sandalwood, rose, narcissus, lily of the valley. So there is some lily of the valley here, and I think the lily of the valley definitely complements the greenness of the Galbanum. But if you like bitter green smells, this is it right here. This is probably one of the best Galbanum fragrances. It is a feminine targeted release, but I think if you're digging the idea of Galbanum, definitely check this one out. At number 3, it's Chanel number 19. And 2 more left. It's 2 more designers. And the next one at number 2 is Mugler's Angel Muse. Angel Muse is kind of like Angel, but then again it's not. It's a little more masculine than Angel. It's got lots of vetiver with patchouli. There's a hazelnut spread note in here, pink pepper and grapefruit. A beautiful gourmand. A really, really beautiful gourmand. Really delicious to wear. I think they've done a great job with this one. That they've created a flanker that doesn't like venture off too much like Angel Nova did. Angel Nova doesn't smell like Angel whatsoever. It's like a young Angel, girly Angel. But here you can kind of like distantly smell Angel in the background, which I quite like, and I think that patchouli definitely helps. So that's Angel Muse at number 2. And can you guess my number 1? Most likely you know. This is Angel at number 1. So Mugler's Angel and Angel Muse at number 1 and 2. This makes sense. I think this really did a trick on me, this particular fragrance. This and then the men's Amen, I think really ignited my passion for perfumes in the 90s. Smelling them off of people was just like the thing that really did it for me. Smelling the earthiness of the patchouli. But with this one, it's so sparkly, you know, like people, I mean, it smells different on a bottle, and then smelling it off of people when it's kind of like blended with their chemistry and then projecting off of them is different. Some people bring out the fruits, some people bring out the patchouli, some people bring out the cotton candy, but it depends on who's wearing it and their body chemistry. I think whoever's wearing it is going to kind of experience it differently, but still all the different kind of the experiences I think eventually will remind me of this particular fragrance. But either way, I think me going to art school in the 90s, film school, and then also working at a retail location when women came in wearing this stuff, me working with photochemicals, I'm smelling this off of the clientele, and this is just what really did it for me, for my appreciation for this fragrance, plus patchouli, and you know, fragrances and perfumes in general. I think this is a very iconic fragrance and definitely deserves the number 1 spot. So that's Angel from the House of Mugler, and that's my number 1. So what do you think? This is my list. I'm sure there's a ton more ladies' fragrances out there, but this is what I own. These are some of my favorites from the different designers, and I think this ranking is perfect for what I'm feeling today. But let me know, guys, what do you think of these fragrances? Are you fans of these fragrances? What would you add to my list? What would you want me to check out for future different videos? And also let me know, how would you put this list together? If you don't want to do the whole list, how about my top 5 or my top 10? Put the names down so I can see how you would rank the fragrances. Either way, guys, thanks so much for tuning in today to watch this video. Stay tuned for more videos very soon. Tomorrow I have 2 videos launching. We have a giveaway with one of them for South Larbonne. But either way, I appreciate you tuning in. Please do like this video. Please share it. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.